Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Our new lecture, that is Trait Approach of Leadership. This lecture belongs to the course Educational Leadership and Management. The learning outcomes for this lecture are that you will be able to introduce what is trait. You will be able to explain major leadership traits. Then after the delivery of the lecture, you will tell 5 personality factors, then emotional intelligence and leadership. After that, you will be able to explain focus of trait approach, and at the last, there will be strength and criticism of trait approach. Now, very first, we will discuss what are traits and what is trait approach. First, I will tell you about trait. Trait is distinguishing quality or characteristic, typically one belonging to a person. Or we can say that a genetically determined characteristic. A trait is something about you that make you you. When your mother says that you get all your best traits from her, she means you have the same charming smile, same brilliant mind that your mother had. In science, trait refers to characteristic that is caused by genetics. Character trait. Character traits are valued aspect of a person's behavior. Character traits are often labeled with descriptive adjectives such as patient, unfaithful, or jealous. Often someone's character and personality are intertwined. Here we discuss about trait approach. The trait approach to leadership concerns on the idea that great leaders are born with given abilities and not a learned ability. Individuals are brought into this world with all of the characteristics needed to become a great. Individuals are brought into this world with all of the characteristics needed to become great leader. The trait approach theory, of course, comes with a fair share of controversy. The trait theory also indicates that great leaders cannot be made or learned. If you are not born with a specific personality traits, you are not destined to be a leader. The trait theory of leadership focuses on identifying different personality traits and characteristics that are linked to successful leadership across a variety of situations. The trait approach theory, of course, comes with a fair share of controversy. Numerous studies have tried to narrow down the specific personality traits that make up a good leader, giving us items such as drive, self-confidence, honesty, integrity, and tolerance. While these might be good traits of a leader, they are not necessarily traits that all leaders exhibit. For example, one of the most influential leaders in the world, if we consider the example of Hitler, while Hitler exhibited traits such as drive and self-confidence, then we would say he was lacking on certain traits such as integrity and honesty. Think about the leadership traits in comparison to your hand. A thumb is a finger, but not all fingers are thumbs. A great leader can have honesty and integrity, but not all leaders have honesty and integrity. The trait theory also indicates that great leaders cannot be made or learned. If you are not born with specific personality traits, you are not destined to be a leader. If we think that the ability to learn is quality of a great leader, being able to learn from your mistakes and apply them towards future leadership situation is a fantastic characteristic to exhibit. This was about trait approach. Then we move to the next slide. Major leadership traits. While the list of leadership traits can vary by whoever is drawing up to the list, according to the researchers, the traits most commonly associated with great leadership includes these traits are number 1 intelligence and action oriented judgment, number 2 eagerness to accept responsibility, number 3 task competence, number 4 understanding their followers and their needs. Then comes people skills. After that, a need for achievement. Then capacity to motivate people. Then comes courage and resolution. Then comes perseverance. Then comes trustworthiness. After that, decisiveness. Then there is self-confidence. And after that, assertiveness. In this diagram, you can see traits associated with great leadership. These traits are intelligence, people skills, decisiveness, creativity, competency, trustworthiness. Here, intelligence is the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. A person or being with the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills, this is the intelligence. Another definition of intelligence is the collection of information of military or political values, or we can say that people employed in the collection of military or political information, this is intelligence. Intelligence has been defined in many ways: the capacity for logic, understanding, self-awareness, learning, emotional knowledge, reasoning, planning, creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving. Intelligence is most often studied in humans, but also it has been observed in both non-human animals and in plants. After intelligence, the next trait associated with the leadership is people skills. People skills are patterns of behavior and behavioral interactions among people. It is an umbrella term for skills under three related set of abilities. These three set of abilities are: number 1 personal effectiveness, number 2 interaction skills, and number 3 intercession skills. After that, the third trait that is associated with great leadership, that is decisiveness. What is decisiveness? It is the ability to make decisions quickly and effectively. For example, if there are crises, then it will require leadership and decisiveness to resolve it. If we further proceed for the decisiveness, it is the conclusive nature of an issue that has been settled or a result that has been produced. For example, there was no doubting the decisiveness of any victory. Decisiveness means coming to a firm conclusion quickly and effectively. As simple that definition. Is there immense power in decision? If we quote the examples for decisiveness, did anybody handle the situation with decisive and courage? Or we can say another example, One area in which the government has lacked decisiveness is planning. It might be the example. Then comes the next trait, which is creativity. Creativity is the use of imagination or original ideas to create something. For example, firms are keen to encourage creativity. Creativity is the act of turning new and imaginative ideas into reality. Creativity is characterized by the ability to perceive the world in new ways, to find hidden patterns, to make connections between seemingly unrelated phenomena, and to generate solutions. After creativity, the next trait, that is competency. What is competency or what is competence? It is the ability to do something successfully or efficiently. For example, courses to improve the competence of staff, or we can also define competency as a person's subconscious knowledge of the rules governing the formation of speech in their first language, or an income large enough to live on, typically an unearned one. This is competency. Competency is the set of demonstrable characteristics and skills that enable and improve the efficiency or performance of a job. The term competence first appeared by White in 1959, and the concept for performance motivation, this term competency, was used. After competency, there is another trait which is associated with the leadership. This trait is trustworthiness. Trustworthiness is the ability to be relied on as honest or truthful. For example, he has to prove his trustworthiness to you. Trustworthiness is a moral value considered to be a virtue. A trustworthy person is someone in whom you can place your trust and rest assured that the trust shall not be betrayed. A trustworthy person is someone that you can tell your worries and secrets to and know that won't repeat them without your permission. These were some traits which are associated. There are 5 personality factors. These 5 personality factors are: the 5 factor model breaks personality down into 5 components. These 5 components are agreeableness, conscientiousness, extraversion, openness, and stress tolerance. Personality tests that are based on this model measure where an individual lies on the spectrum of each of the 5 traits. Each trait measures a unique aspect of human personality. Now we explain these traits. Number 1, agreeableness. Agreeableness is a measure of an individual's tendencies with respect to social harmony. This trait reflects how well the individual gets along with others, how cooperative or skeptical they are, and how they might interact within a team. Agreeableness, it is a personality trait manifesting itself in individuals' behavioral characteristics that are perceived as kind. The individual may be sympathetic, he may be cooperative, he may be warm and considerate. In contemporary personality psychology, agreeableness is one of the 5 major dimensions of personality structure, reflecting individual differences in cooperation and social harmony. Agreeableness is considered to be a superordinate trait, meaning that it is a group of personality subtraits that cluster together statistically. The lower the lower level traits or facets grouped under agreeableness are trust, straightforwardness, altruism, compliance, modesty, and tender mindedness. Then the second trait is conscientiousness. It is a measure of how careful, deliberate, self-disciplined, and organized an individual is. Conscientiousness is often predictive of employee productivity, particularly in lower level positions. In simple terms, conscientiousness is the quality of wishing to do one's work or duty well and thoroughly. For example, his consciousness is second to none and he regularly makes follow-up calls to ensure everything is going well. Conscientiousness is the personality trait of being careful or diligent. Conscientiousness implies a desire to do a task in a well manner and to take obligations to others seriously. Conscientious people tend to be efficient and organized as opposed to easygoing and disorderly. These conscientious people exhibit a tendency to show self-discipline, act dutifully, and aim for achievement. They display planned rather than spontaneous behavior and they are generally dependable. Now we move. The next trait is extraversion. Extraversion is a measure of how sociable, outgoing, and energetic an individual is. Individuals who score lower on the extraversion scale are considered to be more introverted or more deliberate, quiet, low-key, and independent. Some types of positions are better suited for individuals who fall on one side of the spectrum or the other. Extraversion tends to be manifested in outgoing, talkative, energetic behavior. Similar word is introversion. Extraversion and introversion are typically viewed as a single continuum, so to be high in one necessitates being low in the other. Then the other term or other trait, openness. What is openness? Openness measures the extent to which an individual is imaginative and creative as opposed to down to earth and conventional. If we see the simple term for openness, it is lack of restriction or lack of accessibility, or we can say the acceptance of or receptiveness to change or new ideas, or we can say that it is lack of secrecy or lack of, it is a level of frankness. It is the quality of not being covered with building or trees, etc. Openness to experience is one of the domains which are used to describe human personality in the five-factor model. Openness involves six facets or dimensions. These dimensions are active imagination, aesthetic sensitivity, attentiveness to inner feelings, preference for variety, and intellectual curiosity. Then the next trait is stress tolerance. Stress tolerance measures the ways in which individual reacts to stress. Stress tolerance is the ability to be relaxed and composed when faced with difficulties. Having positive stress tolerance is being able to stay calm without getting carried away by strong emotions and helplessness. Now the question is, why stress tolerance is important? Each person has an optimal level of stress that they actually enjoy. It makes work exciting and engaging. But when we pass that level, stress becomes determinant, leading to physical pains and poor decisions. The higher your stress tolerance is, the easier it will be for you to find your daily stresses. Now we move emotional intelligence and leadership. Emotional intelligence, or EI, is the ability to recognize, to understand, and handle your own emotions and those of the people around you. People with a high degree of emotions, people with a high degree of emotional intelligence know what they are feeling, what their emotions mean, and how these emotions can affect other people. There are 5 key elements to emotional intelligence. There are 5 key elements for the emotional intelligence. These are self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Now we have some explanation for these key elements. First of all, self-awareness. Self-awareness is an awareness of one's own personality or individuality. It is not to be confused with consciousness in the self of qualia. While consciousness is being aware of one's environment and body and lifestyle, self-awareness is the recognition of that awareness. The next is self-regulation. What is self-regulation? Emotional self-regulation or emotion regulation is the ability to respond to the ongoing demands of the experience with a range of emotions in a manner that is socially tolerable and sufficiently flexible to permit spontaneous reactions, as well as the ability to delay spontaneous reactions as needed. Then comes motivation. What is motivation? Motivation is the experience of desire. If anybody wants to avoid or escape something, or he wants or gets something, as such motivation has both an object aspect or a subject aspect. Objective aspect is goal or thing you aspire to, or the second one is internal or subjective aspect. It is you that wants the thing or want it go to way. Then the fourth key element or characteristic is empathy. What is empathy? It is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Empathy is the capacity to understand or feel what another person is experiences from within their frame of reference. That is the capacity to place oneself in another's position. Definitions of empathy encompass a broad range of emotional states. And the last characteristic or element is social skills. A social skill is any competency facilitating interaction and communication with others, where social rules and relations are created, communicated, and changed in verbal and non-verbal ways. The process of learning these skills is called socialization. Now for this slide, I would like to say that more a leader manages each of these areas means above mentioned 5 characteristics, the higher their emotional intelligence is. You can see the 5 key elements in this diagram. there is motivation, then self-regulation, then empathy, then self-awareness and social skills. What happens when leaders are emotionally intelligent? Leaders who are emotionally intelligent foster safe environment where employees feel comfortable to take calculated risks, suggest ideas, and to voice their opinions. When a leader is emotionally intelligent, they can use emotions to drive the organization forward. They are able to take the organization according to new trends and issues of the global world. Furthermore, emotionally intelligent leaders do not take things personally and are able to forge ahead with plans without worrying about the impact on their egos. What is the focus of trait approach? The trait approach focuses on the leader, not on the followers or the situation. It means that the trait approach deals with the leaders, not with the followers. This approach is concerned with what trait leaders exhibit and who has these traits. It assumes that it is the leader and his or her personality that are central to the leadership process. Now comes the strengths of trait approach. The trait approach focuses on the leader and not on the followers, as I already told you in the previous slides. This approach is concerned with what traits leaders exhibit, means what characteristics or what attributes or what the leaders have among them. This trait approach relates to the characteristics or attributes of leaders and who has these traits. It assumes that it is the leader and his personality that are central to the leadership process. Strengths of the trait approach. Some of the strengths are as follows. Number one, it supports the general image in the society that leaders are a special kind of people who can do extraordinary things. People have a need to see their leaders as gifted people, and the trait approach fulfills this need. A second strength is that the trait approach has a long research tradition and a significant body of research data that support this approach. The third characteristic or strength of trait approach is that it focuses only on the leaders and analyzes very thoroughly this component in the leadership process. The fourth advantage of trait approach is that it has given us some benchmarks for what we need to look for if we want to be leaders. Now comes what is the criticism of trait approach. There are obvious flaws in the trait-based theory. While proponents suggest that certain traits are characteristics of strong leaders, those who possess the traits do not always become leaders. It means the persons or leaders who possess the traits, they cannot always be leaders. Another criticism is that trait theories do not explain why an individual behaves in a certain way. Trait theories provide information about people and about which traits cause which behaviors. However, there is no indication as to why these traits interact in the way that they do.